Welcome to Murder with the Missus. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy, and today we're going to tell you about Randy Stair.
Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, and Facebook. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you get the new episodes whenever they drop, and tell your friends as always. As always.
As always. I was a little shocked that this one didn't have as much coverage as others, especially since there's so many red flags that it can be used as a cautionary tale. Pay attention to your people. Sometimes people will be screaming for help without saying a word to your face. We're going to start in the thick of it on this one. On June 7th, 2017, Randy went to work at the Wise Market, which is a supermarket in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, I believe is how you say it. He was working a late shift with 25-year-old Victoria Brong, 47-year-old Brian Hayes, 63-year-old Terry Lee Sterling, and 25-year-old Kristen Newell. At approximately 12:44 a.m., Kristen called Wyoming County 911, saying that Randy had shot her friend. By the time police got outside the store, Victoria, Brian, Terry, and Randy were dead. And here is what the police and everyone else learned about Randy. Randy was born September 17th, 1992 in Pennsylvania. He lived with his mom, dad, brother Jeremy, and the dog. By his teenage years, he didn't really fit in. He was shy, he didn't like his parents, and that would evolve into a strong hatred for his dad in particular. He had a mentally rough childhood. At the age of 11, he started contemplating death. He spent a lot of time watching YouTube, drawing and writing comics. He was particularly liking the skit channels. So at 16 years old, he started making content on his own channel, Pioneer Productions. And this was in June of 2008. Earlier content was just gaming and then random videos like jumping on trampolines with other kids, bowling, and of course parody videos. Once he started getting a little following, he started using the name Andrew Blaze. This also started him on more of a filmmaking adventure. In 2009, he was posting about Columbine, racist and homophobic posts, things like that. It completely changed.
Yeah, and then in 2010, the videos started getting even darker.
Even darker, yeah, you could see the descent. Guns were being introduced. He was yelling a lot. But there was also a lot of videos of him talking about death, about doing things before you die. He had developed a dislike of older people and would say he was in awe of people who lived past 30, wondering how they got up and lived their lives every day. Well, you just do it, Randy. We're over 30. We just get up and do what we do. His dad was the manager at that Wise Market, so he got Randy a job there when he was 17 years old, and his grades were dropping the closer he got to graduation. But he did graduate high school, and at 18 years old, he started college to get a bachelor's degree in mass communications. He wanted to do YouTube full time. He started working on his Westboro High Massacre animated series. He was obsessed with Ember from Danny Phantom, which is a cartoon if you don't know who Danny Phantom is. In one of his videos, he talked about seeing Ember for the first time when he was in his late elementary school years. He said, "This ghost, this woman, always connected with me. Ever since I first saw her, something changed. It wasn't like I grew up or anything like that, like I realized, oh my gosh, I'm attracted to girls and all this. No, it's just something changed. It was like a spark, and it just connected with me, made me feel warm inside. It felt very familiar, which was strange. It was like I'd seen her before." So he was really obsessed with this character. In 2013, when he was 21 years old, he went online saying that he was meant to be a ghost girl like Ember. He said when he died, he wasn't going to heaven or hell. He was going to be a ghost and reunite with Ember.
During this time, he was talking about his own experience with death.
Yeah, so he had known people who were dying, and so it kind of struck a chord with him.
Okay, so what, grandparents?
Right, so he first lost his grandpa, which was his dad's dad, while he was in middle school. He says he almost cried, but he held it in. And his dad told him how proud of him he was for handling it so well. Looking back, this just showed him that emotions were not to be publicly shared. In the same story, he talks about how much he hates his dad. As an older teenager, his brother's friend Tom died in a car accident on his way to school. He even started like this annual tradition where he would drive past the place where the wreck happened every year on that day. And while they weren't super close, they did have a connection, so the death did affect him. He talked about someone from his classes in college that died in a car accident as well, named Matt. He said, Tom's death sucked the life out of me. Matt's death killed me. At 23 years old, he graduates college, but he is definitely lost. He doesn't want to use his degree, which happens a lot, we see. And YouTube wasn't where it needed to be for him, so he only worked at the grocery store and made videos. These videos are referred to as the suicide tapes. There would end up being about 18 videos that were anywhere from 3 minutes long to 1.5 hours long. And they're videos to his family to explain to them why he committed suicide, along with a bunch of other stuff. He planned originally to do it on May 7th of 2019, so he called them EGS, the numbers that correspond to the letters of the alphabet. So E is the 5th letter, G is the 7th, and S is the 19th. He also mentions gender identity issues, saying he was cross-dressing. He would wear his mom's clothes every week when they were out bowling. And that started as early as 9th grade. Sometimes he wore female undergarments under his clothes. He was skipping meals to make himself thinner. He was using female razors and female shaving cream to shave his entire body every 3 days, which shows some dedication because I absolutely hate shaving. He kept this stuff in his bedroom at first, but then he started leaving it out on the bathroom counter to let other people see it. But no one ever said anything to him. No one ever questioned it.
So in a bathroom used only by 2 males, nobody questioned the pink razor and the pink shaving gel?
Nobody.
Hey, I mean, you know, I guess you could just ask him, hey.
Like, hey, why are you using this brand?
Yeah, there's stuff for men.
Because I know a lot of females who use men's deodorant, men's razors because they work better. So I guess they just thought maybe.
That's debatable because you know what?
Tell
Women's
me.
deodorant is, you know, I don't use it, but there's some women's deodorant like Secret. That shit right there lasts forever. It works a whole lot better than the Old Spice. I can tell you that much.
Keeps that secret, huh?
Yeah, that's Secret. They got it. They need to make Secret for men.
There you go. Secret, you need a men's line. Do they have a men's line?
We are not sponsored by Secret, by the way.
Yeah, but if you want to. Now, according to him, no one ever cared enough to ask about it. So he felt overlooked, obviously nobody cared. One time he tried to paint his body with white latex paint to look more like a ghost, and he got some on the floor, staining the floor. No one ever asked about that either. So he tried to get noticed at school when he was in high school. He wrote at least 3 stories in class where the main character dies a horrific death, thinking that the teacher would ask him if he was okay, but they didn't. He talks in the video saying he was a female soul, that he is a woman trapped in a disgusting man's body to do what he set out to do. In one of the journal entries, he says, "I'm not a man. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but I'm not sorry. I'm a woman. Each and every day, it gets harder and harder to live in my body. I'm wearing my female natural selection shirt with my American Eagle bra, panties, and black leggings. I guess the proper term would be transgender, but I don't even fully agree with that. I'm a legit girl trapped inside a boy's body. I'm a femme soul." And he fell more into the cartoon world. He believed Ember was a goddess, and instead of saying oh my God or oh my gosh, he would say, "Oh my goddess," referring to Ember. He created himself as a ghost girl named Rachel in some cartoons that he was drawing. Then he created a character named Mackenzie, saying she was his soulmate, and he created an entire world for them. He felt like in a past life or another dimension, he was Mackenzie. He created 9 characters, drew pictures of Mackenzie and Rachel holding hands. He created them all a Facebook page too, so each of the 9 characters had their own page, and he would make them interact by commenting on each other's posts. He named them Ember's Ghost Squad. He even created stickers of the Ghost Squad and put them on his car.
All of this, and he was still working on his series, The Westboro High Massacre.
Yeah, he was still working on that. And he actually hired voice actors who weren't sending him any voice files. An animator he tried to work with denied working on this project because they weren't comfortable with the content. He drew out what all he could himself, and he said the series would post the day he died. Then he went out and bought 2 shotguns, Mossberg 500s with pistol grips that were taped up. He named them Mackenzie and Rachel. His parents knew that he had 1 shotgun, but not that he had a second one. He wrote in a notebook, "I know that the biggest question will be, why? I wish I could answer that fully, but I can't. It was destined to happen from 1992 and before. I'm from a community and squad of ghosts, and 2017 was my time to go back to them, where my true home is. I'm not mentally ill or schizophrenic or insane. I'm just me. I didn't wake up one day and realize that's where I'm from." So he's definitely entrenched into this world. He started posting videos of him having target practice while he was wearing his shirt that says natural selection. Now, we've mentioned that twice now, and in case you don't know, that's what one of the Columbine shooters wore, was a shirt that said natural selection. Now, this part stuck out to me because if you see these videos of him doing his target practice, they don't look like his others where he props up his camera or his phone and it's stationary. It looks like these videos are being filmed by someone else. Who that person is, no one knows. And he decided to change his end date to June 7th of 2017, and then also decided to take someone with him. Whether that someone was in his family or a coworker at the store, he says in a video, "You were a fool to trust me with that shotgun. Oh, mother, if only you realized you just signed my death warrant by taking me to that gun shop."
And this stuff is going on the internet.
Going on the internet. Like, these are videos of stuff he's posting on YouTube talking about
It's
this.
like, oh, you were such a fool.
Oh, mother.
Oh, mother. You were such a fool.
Such a fool. He sounds like an old villain in a really bad movie.
Well, that's probably how I can't remember how they talked on Danny Phantom, the villains.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I
Sometimes
mean?
them cartoon villains are very dramatic. Yes.
exactly.
Yep. He was also posting on all of his many Facebook and Twitter accounts he had created. Things like, "If you think your body is ready for June 7th, then you're gravely mistaken." And in another post, 17 days. Is your calendar marked? Hashtag EGS, hashtag big things, hashtag June 7th, hashtag DEKHARBS, which I don't know what that stands for. On his Rachel Shadows Twitter, he posted, "Who's ready to diesel?" My bad.
Diesel time.
He posted, "Who's ready to die?" and posted a picture of Rachel with blood spatter on her and aiming a gun.
Oh, you just screwed up. You meant
I know.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
was the real deal.
No, it
My
completely, it like auto-corrected. I didn't even catch it.
Oh, I thought
Who's
it was
ready
like
to
a real,
diesel?
I was like, really? When you said it, I was like, wait a minute. That's why I was like, decent time. My bad. I did not mean to interrupt you on that one and everything, but then you said it again. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't up there.
He's like, "You said die wrong."
Yeah.
It's supposed to be diesel. And posted a picture of Rachel with blood spatter on her and aiming a gun. Another disturbing video posted on June 2nd of him literally flipping a quarter in his yard. A best 2 out of 3. Heads, he would take a family member with him, or family members. And tails, it would be a coworker or coworkers. The first flip was tails, second was heads, and third was tails. And that is how he decided that he would kill someone at work before killing himself. 4 days before the shooting, he made another video. This was the last video he uploaded online where he actually talks. He's sitting in his car and saying things like, "In 4 more nights, their whole lives are going to be turned upside down because of me. I'm going to fuck their lives up. I can't wait. I want that supermarket to be closed for like a fucking month or go out of business. It's going to be a crime scene." Who would have thought that a cartoon character would have caused all this to happen? And then he offers Ember a chip like she's sitting in the passenger seat. So it's just kind of weird to watch. He says there are other dimensions out there besides Earth. There's going to be a big eternal war, and he will be laughing his white ghost female ass off. He mentions that he used to watch a lot of, I'm going to try to say this, Onision. I guess it's an older YouTuber, like one of the OGs, and wanted to be like him as far as fan bases go. On June 6th, he uploaded a video, but there's no sound. He was just videoing a walkthrough of the grocery store and zooming in on the exits.
No one says anything. He's talking about shooting people in the grocery store, posting a video of him scoping out the exits, and no one thinks to report anything.
Nobody says a word.
And how many views has he gotten on these videos?
Quite a few.
Before this time.
Quite a few, but I mean, I don't think they can really tell how many he had, or they haven't come out and said how many he had before it actually happened.
I mean, when we're on, we can look on our stuff and see how many views and
per day though.
Per day, yeah.
Oh,
I can look at it and see per day, per week, whatever.
Okay, well, they never came out
because it'll actually tell me like what day was better than the other.
True, that's true. Well, I don't know then. They never said, so I actually don't know how many videos it got or have views. I know that. No, I don't know. He had quite a bit of a following.
Yeah.
I mean, not a huge following.
I don't know.
But
maybe the following. Maybe they was like, oh man, we get this guy.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
Now on June 7th at 9:02 p.m., he posted a goodbye message on the Mackenzie Twitter account. I hope you were able to get through your day. Actually, it says, I hope you were able to get you through the day. But I'm sure we know what he meant. I always hate goodbyes, but it's more like a see you later. Thank you. Now, he was at work during this time. All 5 workers are in there, but there are no customers. They had been working all day and were tired, so they were stocking shelves. They saw him walking around, but didn't pay attention enough to see what he was really doing. At approximately 11 p.m., he went to the staff area of the store and pushed a pallet in front of an emergency exit in the back. At 11:11, he posted on the Embers Ghost Squad Twitter the word journal with an attachment of all of his tapes. Remember the tapes we were talking about, the suicide tapes, the animated series, and his plans. At 11:41 p.m., he posted on the Rachel Shadows Twitter, me and Andrew are going to give the world a little insight as to what really lurks around in the shadows of your everyday lives. So he's part stocking shelves, part posting on social media, and part blocking the exits. At 12:10, he blocked the rest of the exits. And when I say he's shoving pallets in front of the doors, these are loaded pallets. So it's a pallet that is piled up with boxes of products and then wrapped in saran wrap. Kristen and Victoria are stocking shelves on the same aisle, but they each have their headphones in and were listening to music. Victoria goes to the end of the aisle to get more labels. According to Kristen, she starts hearing very loud popping sounds, then a big thud. She looked up to see Randy standing there holding a shotgun and Victoria on the ground in between them. She made eye contact with Randy for a few seconds before Randy just turned and walked away and went to the next aisle. The footage inside the store is not public, but many news reports say that they were told that the footage actually shows Kristen didn't hear the gunshots and never looked up. That Randy stands behind her for about 5 seconds while Kristen stocks the shelves and then he walks away. So she doesn't, like some people are saying that she just kind of blocks that out, like a traumatic event.
But she does see Victoria and tried to shake her awake. She realizes that she still has a pulse, so she runs and calls for help and she hides.
Yeah, so she's realizing that he has shot her and she needs to get help. She says she grabbed the phone, called 911, and hid. She knew that Randy went to the next aisle where Terry was, but she didn't know where Brian was in the store. She was hearing more gunshots, so she watched for Randy while she ran to the front door. She said she could reach past the pallet, but the sliding doors wouldn't open. So she rammed it with her shoulder and was able to run outside the store. She ran across the parking lot and hid in a bush. The whole time she waited for police and she was on the phone with 911, she could hear gunshots in the store. Even when the police started to arrive, you could hear gunshots in the store. Randy had already shot Terry and Brian and then started shooting the place up, just really everything. The shelves, the deli counter. He even tried to shoot some propane tanks. Now, if you recall in Columbine, they tried to blow the place up with propane tanks and have the kids run outside and then they would shoot them as they came outside, but that didn't work. So they had to go in and start shooting. So maybe he thought that he could get it to work if he just shot them directly. but it didn't. He tweeted from the Andrew Blaze Twitter account, "Goodbye, humans. I'll miss you." And then he went to the deli and shot himself. 59 bullets had been fired from one of the shotguns. He didn't use the other one because it was meant to be a backup. He said he didn't want to do all this and have the gun jam before he had the chance to take himself out. When police went to his house, they found 7 boxes of 12-gauge ammo, goggles, earplugs, and a shotgun stock, along with all of the shit that we've already talked about with his notebooks and journals and stuff like that.
He had signed the backs of his posters on his walls and told his family in one of the suicide tapes to give them to his fans. They should be worth millions now.
Yes.
Shit.
Yes.
If I was the family, I'd burn them.
And I'm talking, these are posters, because you can see all these videos online, but these are posters of like Danny Phantom, of course, and then the movie Frozen. Like there's so much randomness. Which has nothing
to do with it.
It's just so much randomness. But because they're in these videos, he thought that this shooting would make him so famous that they would just be worth so much money.
Yeah.
Narcissism. Did I forget to mention that he was a self-diagnosed narcissist? Well, he was. They found out that he had also emailed the voice actress who does Ember's voice on Danny Phantom that day, telling her that when she read the email, he would be dead. And he found his true purpose, that he believed that when he died, he would cross over into the animated world and be reunited with his ghost squad. Now, his cause of death was a shotgun wound to the mouth. It shows that he had black makeup on his eyes and lips. He was wearing female undergarments under his uniform, and he had a high dose, here we go, of diphenhydramine in his system, which is Benadryl, a dose high enough that it is believed that he could have been experiencing hallucinations and disassociation at the time of the shooting. Victoria had gunshot wounds to her left hip 2 times, anterior chest and back of the head. Terry had a gunshot wound to his upper back and left shoulder, so they believe that he was trying to run away when he was shot. Brian had a gunshot wound to the head, chest, right side, groin, and left arm. Now, Kristen didn't talk about any of this to the public for a while. She said she didn't know why he let her live. Many believe it's because he wanted to have a survivor to tell the story. Others believe that he was in such a doped up fog that he didn't know what was going on. She did say that she talked to some other coworkers about it and that they all agreed that they didn't see this coming, that the man who did this shooting was not the Randy that they knew and loved.
He was screaming for help, even though he didn't ask for it outright.
Yeah, there's so many red flags.
Yeah.
That's why I said this could be a cautionary tale. It was just so crazy that he was doing all these things, posting videos, buying guns, and not a single person was like, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need to talk?" Like, not anybody. He left stuff out in the bathroom. He wrote those stories in class. He left little notes around his house. I don't know exactly what was on the notes, but he said in the video that he had left notes around the house and that not one person asked him about those notes. Not one person asked him about anything. So guys, pay attention to your people. I know that the signs are not always this clear, but the people closest to someone in trouble can usually see the signs that something's not right. And just ask if they're okay. Try to help. Sometimes they are receptive because they really do want the help. Sometimes they don't. They have to want help. Randy obviously wanted help, but he couldn't ask outright. So if you're struggling, tell someone. You just might have that support system that you need, even if you don't realize it. And if you don't, there are programs all over the country that can help.
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Like, pay attention?
I mean, I don't even know if it would have been like a scream for help. I mean, I think it's just like he kind of was losing it a little bit. That's
a cry for help.
Yeah, but I mean,
if you notice, and he says in his videos.
I guess yes and no. I mean, it's one of them deals where like the parents should have noticed the changes in him.
Right.
Because they should. I mean, a parent knows a child.
Exactly.
Their child. You know what I mean? So they would know, hey, he's not acting right.
Something's up.
Something's going on. And especially if he's like going way off base or they're going way off base of what they usually normally do.
True.
So,
and we're not trying to shame the family.
No.
Because
I mean,
kids are good at hiding shit too.
Yeah. Some kids are good at hiding stuff.
But at the same time, like he said, you're going to notice little differences in personality. He had a huge hatred for his dad. Huge. But he even blames his family. He's even the one that's sitting there going, you should have seen this. You should have said something. Yeah. So that's kind of, I mean, you can't put all that on the family either at the same time. Because if he wanted help, he could have said something.
True.
And he didn't. So there's so much accountability to be taken all over the place. But if you or someone you know needs help, you can call or text 988.
All right. Well, that's it for this one. Please catch us on the next one. Don't forget to tell your friends. Tell everybody you know. We need the subscribers. And we need the downloads.
Yeah, we do.
All right. See y'all next time.
Bye.